Hello, everyone. Susan Gerbeck there, out there, wherever I am at. So, Twitter last night, X, whatever. I got this really interesting comment, and I want to say thank you guys to everybody who has reached out to me and has checked in with me and who has watched the last video I did on my About Time channel. Questions about Wikipedia, ask me, that kind of thing. I've gotten some really great comments and a lot of views, way more views than I would have thought I would have gotten. I thought I would get like three. So thank you so much. I've received a lot of private messages, DMs from you, and wonderful comments and some really good feedback, even though it was harsh, but it's been really nice. Yeah, let's keep having conversations. And I think that some of the comments I'm hearing from you, well, a lot of the comments I'm hearing from people are that they didn't understand that's how Wikipedia worked, or they just didn't get it. And I honestly understand that better than because I am not a programmer or anything of that sort. I'm a retired baby photographer that worked in retail for 34 years, and my degrees in social and behavioral sciences focus on social history. So this is coding. What the heck? But it takes work to learn how to edit Wikipedia. It is complicated, and I don't expect you guys to know how to do this. And don't take my word for it. Yes, of course, go and explore yourself. But so I'm going to one of my monitors here to make sure I have the right name. Attitude of Aggression has sent me a tweet, and one of the things they said. Let's see if I can quote it. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't right now. It said they sent me a link to a Wikipedia article. It's a list. I'll show it to you in a minute. And Attitude of Aggression said that they they were scrolling through this list I'm going to show you right now, and they noticed that there's a lot of people missing from this list, and they found that interesting. And there's some surprises. And I said, well, who should be there that's not? Because I was reading the tweet in bed and I wasn't really looking at the list at the time. And Attitude of Aggression said that gave me a whole list of people who were missing: David Fravor, Chris Mellon, Tim Gottlieb, Luz Elizondo, Jeffrey Corbell, Ross Coulthart. And then Attitude of Aggression says that it's more of a connect the dots situation than an omission situation. Okay, it leaves people off the list who are a bit instrumental in the field, but are more so for the military involvement side of the fence, such as David Faber, Chris Mellon, and so on. And I said, yeah, let me look into this now that it's daytime and I'm awake. And I think I'll need to make a video on it. And that's what I'm doing right now, is reporting back to you with a video, because Attitude of Aggression goes, well, you don't have to make a video. And I said, I need to show screenshots. I need to actually explain and show, because a tweet is just, I could show a screenshot, but it's not going to have the impact as it would if I show you. So that's what I'm going to do, show you. Okay. Here's the link that I was given. So let's go over to the link that I was given. Let's make sure I pick the right screen. I have so many tabs open, probably like all you guys out there. All right, so this is a list of UFOologists on Wikipedia. So you can see there's a whole bunch of names on this list, and they've got them broken down by country: United States, UK, Australia, and so on. Awful lot here for United States. And then here's all these references down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's look at this link again. The link that was given to me was obviously a mobile link, in other words, from their phone. So I'm going to take out this M dot, and then let's see what we have then. Gosh, come on, Gerbeck, you can do this. You can take an M dot out. Okay, now it should work. There you go. Okay, this is much more what I would be looking at. This is the desktop version of Wikipedia. So to me, it's easier to visualize, as well as it's easier for me to edit. All right, so you can see now it's more concise here, right? Here's all these people from the United States. And I think all these people that Attitude of Aggression mentioned are all from the United States. Luis Elizondo. Seems to be alphabetical. Yeah, Elizondo's not here. Mellon, I don't think is here. Yeah, and so on. Mellon. Okay, so the first thing I want to explain is Wikipedia, these statements I get all the time. Wikipedia should, editors should. Why don't they on Wikipedia? Why isn't this being done on Wikipedia? Okay, so I need to understand the people who are working on Wikipedia are editors, they're volunteers, and if they're not interested in the topic of the subject, it ain't going to get done. If it isn't brought to somebody's attention, it's not going to get done. There are no work lists or tasks. I mean, I guess there are places you can sign up for that are like join this project or help out with this task of improving left-handed football players in South America or something, or New Jersey, or I mean, there are places you can join some sort of kind of a community that does offer a list of things that need to be improved. Those sites are almost all dormant. It doesn't work really well because Wikipedia isn't really great at the social aspect of keeping people engaged. So mostly editors you see are just individuals editing without any kind of guidance. They just do what they want to do. So there is no Wikipedia should, or they should. It just, there's tens of thousands of articles. And if you count in all the different languages, there's only so many editors, and there's a lot of them. But so what I say to that question, which I get all the time, is, well, then sign up, learn how to edit, and get started, because it's not going to get done until somebody does it, right? So this was brought to my attention. So let me explain what this is in more depth. Let's look at it. I think it's interesting. So let's explain some more of this. Hopefully you find this interesting. All right. So lists on Wikipedia. There's all kinds of lists, thousands and thousands of lists, and you can click on this. You could write list of, and you could probably put butterflies, football players, Pokemon characters, cities in Nebraska. I mean, there's probably a list of everything all over the place. Oh, okay. So they put a tag on here. Well, this article was created in 2006. See how it says the date here, 2006. It's got 618 people have edited it. 110 people have it on their watch list, which is this little star right here. And that means anytime something changes, the 110 people who have it on their watch list will see that it has been changed, and they can go in and be notified and decide if whatever's changed is good or bad. So in the last 30 days, it's received 2,000 page views, 2013. It was created by this person named ADHIB. And there's statistics of how, it's all here. You don't have to have an account. You can go and look at this yourself. It's all there. All right. So this is a flag, or it's also called a tag. And an editor has put this on here back in December of 2010, which is pretty sad that nobody has taken that tag off. In other words, nobody's restored this page and fixed this problem, even though it's been flagged since 2010. In other words, this article we're looking at here is pretty abandoned. And this is one way of telling. The tag was put on here in December of 2010 because it's saying that it's relying on primary sources. And Wikipedia, if you remember correctly, when I explained in my last video about why Brandon Frugal, owner of Skinwalker Ranch, can't have a Wikipedia page, Spoiler, he can. Somebody just has to write it. So um, in that video, I explained the difference between primary and secondary. So, no, actually, I didn't explain it there. Oh my gosh. I explained primary and secondary sources in the video I did with UAP files. I'm sorry, that was a 3-hour interview. You might not have watched it, but I explained primary versus secondary in that video. So Wikipedia does not rely on primary sources. We don't use them. We very rarely use them. It is just not okay. We have to have secondary sources, and secondary sources need to be quality sources. And I'm not going to get into that because that's just too confusing. So they're saying that these things, that the claims made on here don't have very good sources. All right, so let's look at this. See this button here? It says talk. I'm going to click on that. And this is where Wikipedia editors have conversations with each other. And again, you do not need an account to read the talk page. Somebody's put this note on here saying, please help. There's an archive. In other words, this talk page has been here for a very long time. They were going to delete it back in 2008, and the discussion was keep. If I click on these, it'll give me the discussion of what happened. You guys can look on that. This is already going to be too long of a video. It must adhere to the biography of living persons policy, which is strict. And it's part of the reason why some people can have Wikipedia articles and some people can't, because the rules for creating a biography of a living person are very strict. Not just everybody can have a Wikipedia article. They're saying this is low importance, low importance, low importance. And what this is basically saying is that if you had subscribed to a community, skepticism community, the paranormal community, the list community, the biography community, they would say, this is really low priority. Don't worry about working on this list. So it takes somebody like Attitude of Aggression to come out and say, hey, come on, what's going on here? So you can look through here. Here's a comment from 17 years ago. Here's another one from 17 years ago. Gosh, Wikipedia's been around a while. And I glanced over this before starting this video, and it looks like mostly what these are is, hey, how come so-and-so is not here? Or how come I'm not here? I'm a UFOologist. And then people are responding saying, well, when you finally become notable, then yeah, you could be on the list. So only people who can be on the list are people who have Wikipedia articles. So that's important to know. 7 years ago, like this person right here says, seventh sister, no idea. Why was my content rejected? And then it says, seventh sister, this is a list of people that satisfy Wikipedia's notability standards, in particular, minimum coverage and outlets that meet our sourcing requirements, such as major newspapers, independently written biographies. And they said, I'll review those guidelines and resubmit when I'm satisfied I meet them. In other words, themselves. Yes, let us know when we can find your profile in the New York Times. That's kind of snarky, Mr. Ollie. What does the New York Times have to do with Canadian ufology? Last time I checked. And then Mr. Ollie responds, the point is no reliable sources exist, so it's unlikely that this can be added anytime soon. This is all has been explained to you at, and here's a link to promoting yourself selfishly but properly in the Tea House, which is a place where you go to ask questions. So seventh sister, who's made 6 edits since December 2020, thinks they're a UFOologist and they should be on the Wikipedia article for lists of people who have lists of UFOologists. So I think that's kind of the conversations we have all the time on Wikipedia is people don't understand the rules. They think that anybody should be listed on there, especially themselves. So the way this is broken down is by country. Australia, here's Ross Coulthart. Ross is on here. He's just listed under Australia, not America. Duh. So if you highlight it, if you put your mouse over the top of the hyperlink, it gives you like an overview of the Wikipedia article. If I clicked on it, it would go to Ross Coulthart's Wikipedia article. And then this little bit right here is put on here. Journalist and lawyer interviewed the UFO whistleblower David Grush on the U.S. governmental cover-ups of the recovery programs of crashed UFOs. See the little number? That's a citation. So one of the things that we need to see on here is citations. We don't want people just put on here just because. We need to have a citation that proves that they are a UFOologist. Otherwise, you could have like Taylor Swift and Donald Trump and King Charles put on here. And that's not fair because they are not UFOologists, at least not that I know of. So everything needs to have some kind of documentation saying why they should be on the list. It's usually like about a sentence long. If they are alive and died, then a lot of times they'll put the year on here. So you follow whatever format the other editors have made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Luis Elizondo to this link. And I'll do it right here in front of you. You can watch me do it just because. Now there's other people, Jeffrey Cobell and Tim Gallad and Chris Mellon that people have said should probably be on the list too. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to do Luis Elizondo because it's just time consuming. So here's what it looks like when a person is editing Wikipedia. So I'm going to go to, I wanted to show you the view history. So this article is the revision of history. So the last edit that was made was in August 5th, 2025. Somebody named Lynch 44 reverted an edit by this IP address, and they said it's not notable. In other words, well, I don't know what it is. Let's see. So if I lean over it, Chris Rolfe, US UFO researcher investigator. Let me click on it better so you can see it. Chris Rolfe, UFO investigator, headed civilian UFO group, helped to run. This is an awful lot of content. We went about a sentence long, not multiple sentences. And Chris Rolfe does not have a Wikipedia article, so therefore they do not belong on this Wikipedia list of notable UFOologists. If Chris Rolfe had a Wikipedia article, maybe it should be written. I don't know anything about this person, never heard of him before. If that article was written, then yeah, it can go back on here. So this tells you everything that's been edited and why and when and all that stuff. Also on here, you can see Chesford, who's that guy or I assume he's the guy, who's been doing a lot of editing of Wikipedia concerning UFOs. Let's see what he has added. June 6th. What did they do? Stephen Bassett, 1946 U.S. advocate and lobbyist. Okay, so they added that person. That doesn't look very mean. People say Chesford is just out to get the UFO community. I'm not quite seeing that, but okay. And then they went in on June 6th and they fixed it to make the link work correctly because this is coding that wasn't done quite right the first time they made the edit. And then on June 10th, they added Robert Solis, former U.S. Air Force officer. So they did all that, in a relatively short time. And this has every edit that's ever been made on this Wikipedia article. And you can go back farther to the oldest one and so on. So you can see this is back to creation of the article in 2006 by this Adheb person. So anyway, so it's all public and so on. Now let's go to the edit. This is what I look at. So I have a program turned on that makes everything colored like this, green or purple or yellow. So it makes it a little easier for me to find things. But this is what an edit screen looks like for typical Wikipedia editors. And as you can see, it's code. It's you get used to it after a while and you learn how to do it. It's not, how should I say, it is intimidating for somebody looking at it for the first time, but it's not as intimidating once you've been doing it a lot of years. All kinds of information down here. So what I want to do is I want to put Luz Elizondo in here. But before I can add Luz Elizondo to the United States area, let's find Elizondo. Let me see. have a lot of trouble pronouncing things and definitely with spelling. So you'll have to give me a little bit of break here to make sure I've got this. CDEF. So it's going to go right after Danielle Egru. See how this has it right here? Like if I'm going to highlight this so it's make it easier so you know what I'm looking at. This is the citation and where they got it from. And it says contactee who regularly reports of firsthand communication with extraterrestrial species along with detailed physics / design of extraterrestrial propulsion systems. And here's the reference. See, this is everything has to be backed up with a reference. So there's the citation right there. It says verify the source. Gosh, this has been here since November 2011 and nobody has verified this source. Wow, talk about being abandoned. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put an asterisk, which is how we're doing these. I'm going to put brackets, Elizondo. I have to put it exactly like the Wikipedia is written. Luis Elizondo. See? Now I'm going to write a little something right here, but I have to get the citation. So let's go over to the Wikipedia page for Luis Elizondo. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm clicking on Luis Elizondo's Wikipedia article. What I need to do is I need to find a citation on here from an independent, reliable source that says he's a ufologist. Now that shouldn't be a problem at all because, I mean, he's obviously a ufologist, right? So I could go down here to all the citations and just pick one, probably. I could talk about his book. Oh, I better write that down because I'm going to have to spell it IMMINENT because I always have problems with spelling. Inside the Pentagon, hunt for UFOs. And I think, is there a Wikipedia page for this book? No, there's not. Maybe there should be. Maybe Susan should probably write the Wikipedia page for the book. Like I have nothing better to do anymore. All right, so let's see. Elizondo claims that UFOs are of extraterrestrial, cryptid, or interdimensional origin, and that the US government is withholding and suppressing this information. So let's look at citation 10 and see what that looks like. Charlie Burton from 2021. This man ran the Pentagon's secretive, sorry about that, coming up here, program for a decade. We had some questions. It's GQ magazine. Oh, that should be good. Let's look and see. This man ran the Pentagon's secretive UFO program for a decade. We had some questions. Okay, so is this about Luis Elizondo being a UFOologist? Yeah, probably. I think I'd have to take their word for it because it sure looks like, yeah, it kind of looks like it. So we could use this as a citation. Oh, I should have used this. I should have opened it in a separate tab. Okay, there we go. Or what else could we use? We could use something on the book. Where is it? Okay, maintains managed security and counterintelligence. That's citation 41. All right, so this is a little more recent. It was from 2024. Let me open that and look at that. I'm not sure that it's showing the screen. Let me unshare and then reshare again. I can't see what is recording and what's not here, if I get this right. Former Pentagon UFO researcher, investigator makes claims of non-human craft biological implants in memoir. And this is from news.com.au. So that's a good site. I could use that. So this is fine too. I think I'll use this one only because it's 2024. Oh, look at that nice smile. Thank you, lady. Bunch of spam down here. All right, so I mean, I could use this. So let's go back to here. Let me reshare again. Let's make the edit. You can watch me do this. Is as exciting as possible. So, oh shoot, I don't remember his birthday. Let me go back to his Wikipedia article. This Wikipedia article does not have his birthday on here, so not going to happen. And that's fine. Not everybody has to if the information's there. Okay, so what should I say? Luis Elizondo. I could copy this. Let me see. An American author. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to go back and forth. American author, because I don't want those citations in there. So I'm going to go back and forth. American author, comma, media personality. These are all backed up by citations itself. Space, comma. Don't forget our Oxford, comma. And disclosure movement UFO activist. Okay, let's see, what anything else? Oh, I could put down what I started saying. Who wrote what year was it? 2023 or 2024? When did this book come out? 2024. Who wrote the 2024 book? And I got to put italics, IMMINENT inside the PNTAGON apostrophe Hunt. Good thing I wrote this down. Okay. So I think I got that right. Let's look here and see preview. I'm going to Elizondo. All right. Luis Elizondo is American author, media personality, UFO disclosure activist, who wrote the book, 2024 book, Intimate. Oh God, I can't even talk. I tell you guys, I'm always getting teased because I cannot speak or spell. All right. So now if I mouse over this, it should see how it opens up to his Wikipedia page. And this should disclosure. Okay, so that light, this is written correctly. I think that's fair. He's an American author, he's a media personality, and a UFO disclosure activist. We don't want the sentence to be too long. We want it to be very precise. So now I just have to get the citation on here. So what I'm looking at right now is a preview. I didn't make it live yet. I'm just previewing it to see if it's right. Now I got to put, where are you? Now I have to put the citation. There he is. So here I'm going to put a citation. I'm going to put a period after that. All right, so templates, site, web. Let me move this over so that I can not have to be going back from screen to screen. So let me go from one place to the other. It'll make it easier. That's why you have multiple screens when you have edit Wikipedia. Okay, so template. I'm going to use the site web. The author of this last name is C-H-U-N-G. His first name is Frank. The title of the article I'm using for the citation, I'm highlighting it. Oops, you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm not sharing. Durr. Okay, there's the title. Here's the URL. I'm just using another screen, you guys, and it's faster. I want to make sure that opens up correctly. I will in a second. The website name is news.com.au. Publisher is news.com.au. The access date is today. Let me look at the other fields. I'm not going to archive this. August. I have to use the full word August. I can't put AUG or anything like that. Otherwise, you get an error. Little known English. It's not, I'm not archiving it. It's not a book or anything like that. The format, reference name. CHUNG. I'm just going to use that as the reference name. Everything else I can just let go. So I'm going to insert this. So now what I just typed in here is right there. This part, what I typed in that box, is all this. Now, if I had archived the link and so on, which I usually do, but I don't really want to do it right now because, as I said, this video is going to be long enough as it is. This is the citation right there. So it built the citation. Back when I first started editing in 2008, we didn't have that tool. You had to type everything in with the little ampersands and the V's and my dots. And if you missed one little code, then it wouldn't work. It was so frustrating. I had it all written down and you had to, it's just really, really bad. Now we have these templates. So you just fill in the boxes and then it makes the citation for you. It's much easier. Wikipedia's changed a lot since I started editing. Okay, going back over here again. Okay, so let's hit preview because we're supposed to hit preview all the time to make sure before we make it live. See, it says it's a preview. Let's go down here to Luz Elizondo. It's an American author, media personality, UFO disclosure activist who wrote the 2024 book Intimate. Go ahead and make fun of me. Citation number 41. So if we go down to 41, see what that looks like. Here it is. Frank Chung, former Pentagon UFO investigator, makes claims of non-human craft. That's the title. News.com.au, retrieved on the 13th. I'm going to just right click on this because I'm going to make sure it opens up okay. Make sure I didn't get that URL up. See, it says page not found. Darn it. I did something wrong. It's because I tried to fix let's try this. Sometimes there's junk that gets put on those URLs, like extra content. So let me take this out. Now let's put this new one in. See all this junk F88D6, that's all just added on there. So let me hit preview again. Down to 41 again. Okay, I'm going to right click on it to make sure it opens. Ta-da! It opens. Okay. So I've made the citation. I've added the code. I've added a citation. I have to tell what reason why I'm making the edit. Okay, so I can say anything in here, but what we're trying to do is trying to say to other editors, this is the reason why I'm making this edit in the first place. Publish changes. Okay, so now anybody out there who's watching this video can go to the list of UFOologists and you will see that the change we just made is right here, right there with the citation going down to citation number 41. Ta-da! Okay, and then if we look at the history, view history, there is my link right there. It says on August 13th, 2025 at 13.52, it's my time difference, I added 665 characters. Here's what I wrote: adding Luis Elizondo to a list as he is a UFOologist. I can preview my change. There it is. There's like 5 different ways of doing everything on Wikipedia. It's crazy. And if somebody doesn't like my edit, somebody on the watch list has this page on their watch list. Here, I'm going to put it on my watch list. If somebody puts it on their watch list, they're going to get a message saying somebody just added something to the list of UFOologists, and they can come over and check and see if what was made was done correctly, or if I didn't have a citation or whatever. And if they don't like it, then they can come over here, hit undo, and then they can, with a couple clicks, they can undo what I did, which is what Lynch 44 did. They reverted an edit by somebody by just clicking that undo button. So it just takes a couple clicks. So going back over here to the article, you can see there's a bunch of people who are missing on here, as our post on Twitter said. And it's you saw how long that took me. Now, if I hadn't been speaking and talking to you guys, it would have been much quicker, because I've been editing for years and I can do this a lot faster if I'm not sitting here trying to explain it as I go. But you can still see it's a time-consuming process to add each name to the list, and you have to have a source to be able to say. I don't know if I'm going to go and do the other ones that were suggested. Maybe somebody watching this will do it. I mean, you really don't have to have an account on Wikipedia to do it. You can follow the tutorial I just did, and it's enough to be able to, if you just follow the steps I did, you'll be fine. You can do this. Just when you create the sentence of who the person is, come up with something kind of neutralish that satisfies the purpose. Who is this person, and why do they have, why is the reason they're here on this UFO list in the first place? So you got to come up with some kind of neutralish thing. And usually if you go to the beginning of the lead of a person's Wikipedia article, it will tell you, you could just, like I did with Lou's, you can almost just copy it and just use that, because it's kind of a good neutral way of saying who they are. You don't want to get into a bunch of stuff, because then it makes the list very messy looking. And if people really want the information that you're putting on this list, they'll click on it and then they can go to the Wikipedia article. So fascinating. I any chance I get to explain, I'm happy to do that. If you guys have other questions, please let me know. Maybe I'll do a video. Like I said, it's much easier to show you than to just tell you. And I'm finding people aren't really going and looking. So when I just say, hey, go check it out, look at the talk page or look at the edit page, and you'll see. I don't think people are doing that. I think they're just going with their gut and just moving on with their lives. So hopefully this has been interesting to you. I have a whole list of other videos on this channel that you're looking at. The playlists include all kinds of stuff, not just the one about I did the other day on Fugal, but all kinds of topics about how to questions I get, like, can anybody edit Wikipedia? Or why, when I made this Wikipedia edit, it didn't stick, somebody removed it. Or if I pay somebody to edit Wikipedia, is that a scam? Yes. Don't pay somebody to edit Wikipedia. It's a scam. You'll find that you're falling into a hole of blackmail. It's awful. Don't do that. Anyway, all kinds of different videos I've done on this topic of questions I get often. So you can DM me, you can email me. It's my name at Yahoo or at Gmail, or you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. You can write underneath this video a comment saying what you want, that you think I should look into this other thing. But I'm happy to explain as best I can. But of course, I am not the best speaker. I'm not the best speller. And I do take a little time to explain, because I want to make sure it's in depth and it's, you got it. But anyway, thank you all. I hope to hear from you soon.